Are we starting?
Yeah.
Welcome to Ellen Road this afternoon. This is Ian Brook with David Wanless for his inter-round summaries, now famed nationwide. And John Smith's Yorkshire Cup final between Wakefield Trinity and Sheffield. Teams are just being introduced to the dignitaries that are here, just going down the Sheffield lineup. As they're getting introduced, I'll ask David to give you the teams for this afternoon's match.
Thanks very much, Ian, and it is a absolutely superb day for rugby here at Ellen Road. This pitch in absolutely superb condition. The dignitaries just at the end of the Sheffield line, which I'll quickly go through their side. At number 1, the former Balmain player Gary Jack. At 2 is Mark Gamson. 3 is Richard Price. 4, David Maiko, almost Wakefield Trinity as a junior, but opted for Sheffield. David Plange, that Castleford, ex-Castleford winger, and in absolutely superb form this season. Halfbacks then, number 6, Mark Aston, the Great Britain international, and 7, Tim Lum, an on-loan signing this week. 8 then is Paul Broadbent, 9, Mick Cook, 10 is Dale Lawton, 11 is Bruce Maguire, former Canterbury Bankstown player, and 12 is Paul Carr, the other Australian contingent off the Sheffield side, and at 13 Anthony Farrell. At 14 then Andy Young, and at 15 Hugh Waddell. No place then in this side for Darryl Powell, still out injured. They'll miss him today, they'll miss his size out in the 3/4.
Perfect condition as Mr. Smith, the referee from Castleford, have just tossed up, and it looks like it's going to be Sheffield's kick-off. Just having the last few moments together and psyching one another up. So Sheffield then wanting to get this game underway. Fair crowd behind the left-hand side. Trinity's try line, they should be attacking this first half. Plenty of vocal support there for Trinity in the final, again after 2-year absence when they lost here against Castleford. So it's Bagnall there, gives the bones to Jones, ball to Jones, and here comes Jones for, gets to the 20-metre line, where he's met by Sheffield tackling. It's going to be first, these first few minutes. That's Farrell there, just going to take the first drive, and then Webster following through. The two Sheffield 11 and 12, both wearing head guards. That's Maguire and Carr, the two Australians. That's back to Nigel Wright, well positioned. Good chase by Farrell there to try and put him off, and here's the man in at the moment, and listen to the roar as Gary Jack gets the ball, but just not used to the turf yet, just a little slip, and over he goes. Wakefield there, caught offside. First penalty of the afternoon going to Sheffield. So Mr. Smith, who I've seen a few times this season, I rate as probably one of the best referees of the new breed. David, he's only 28 years of age, but I've seen him a few times. I've been thoroughly impressed with the lad.
Yes, we were just discussing this before the game, Ian, and the lad's only been refereeing a few seasons, and he's been quickly upgraded to Grade 1 referee, and that just says a lot for him. You know, you don't get upgraded that quick, Ian, if you're not the man for the job.
Quite true. So it's Sheffield then, centre field. Here comes Maguire, number 11 there, just bringing the ball up. He's been an inspiration to Sheffield since he signed from this time. The captain of Sheffield. Close, the hooker gives it to Aston, moves it out, Jack, and that looks a little bit high from Andy Mason there. Gary Jack took a little bit of a knock from that head eye. John Glancy's pulled out just round the neck there, David.
Yeah, I think John Glancy just chased him across the field there and just tried to tackle him, and his arm just over the shoulder region. Mr. Smith just giving him a stern ticking off there. Sheffield Eagles, Ian, 6 points in the league. Wakefield Trinity have got none. Do you think it'll have any bearing on this game?
None whatsoever, David. One off Cup finals, Yorkshire Cup final. Wakefield have been playing well. They just haven't had the bit of luck that makes them a winning side. Sheffield have had 3 good wins in this Yorkshire Cup, beating Bradford, Halifax and Hull, whereas Wakefield only played a 3rd division and 1 2nd division side, so Sheffield come here as favourites, but on the day that doesn't mean anything at all. So Sheffield then, and that's a drop ball there from Dale Lawton, Sheffield number 10, and Wakefield a little bit slow acting half back there. Nigel Bell having to dive on that ball. Here comes John Glancy, former Sheffield Eagles player, been signed on for Wakefield now for 5 or 6 years. And Sheffield, number 6, Mark Aston there, that Mr. Smith has pointed out was offside, so early settling down period. David, penalties to both sides, nothing really, foundations, nothing got.
No, that's right, there's no entertaining football been played in these early stages, but by the eagerness of both Wakefield and Sheffield's defences, Ian, you know, Russell Smith's quite right to pull both sets of defenders up, because they have been encroaching in that 10, so they're easy to form a good defensive stand, both sides trying to get on top in the defence, and it's costing them so far.
As Big Fritz then, Darren Fritz from Canberra takes it up. Few Aussies on the field today, this Bagnall, that's another. Mark Webster, crowd shouting, thought he was a little bit forward, going towards the Sheffield 20. Bagnall again, distributor of many things that that's Carr there, the other Aussie. 6 Aussies on the field today, 3 for Wakefield, 3 for Sheffield. Here's Nigel Wright, recovered from that rib injury he sustained at Salford last week. Richard Slater, John Glancy on his right, pressing forward towards that Sheffield 20-metre line. We're on the 5th and last, so is it going to be a little kick over from Nigel Wright? He tries it, a lucky bounce, and Richard Slater's going to be in. Oh, what good fortune for Wakefield. First score on the board, little grubber kick through, and there goes Richard Slater under the sticks. Brilliant start for Wakefield there, David.
Well, what can I say? It's obviously a planned move. It's a hardly driven ball, and anything happens on a planned move, Ian. The ball was driven very, very hard to the ground. The emphasis is to make the defence fumble the ball and possibly capitalise. Unfortunately for Sheffield there, it hit a man and it rebounded up, but Richard Slater plucked that ball from out of the air there, and it just stuck to his fingers, and majestically he strolled round Gary Jack to slide under the post and give Wakefield the dream start that they wanted. What an absolutely superb start for Wakefield, Trinity.
And you can tell by the crowd that that's successful. So that's Wakefield 6, Sheffield Eagles 0.
Well, an absolutely superb start from Wakefield, Trinity. Congratulations to Richard Slater there. As I say, managed to just pluck that ball out of the area, and he stood Gary Jack up. What a superb sidestep that was to slide under the posts.
Yes, he can do it, can Richard. Lots of times you want his talents to come out and show, and there we know what an exceptional sidestep he has, and he left Gary Jack there for dead. So Wakefield then should be full of confidence. Gary Spencer trying to bring the ball clear. Here comes big Darren Fritz. He's a big lad, he takes some pulling down. Cook, the hooker there, does the job. Price losing the ball there, Gary. Quick riposte from Sheffield, that's Maguire. Bad mistake there from Gary Price, and that's an even worse mistake from Sheffield, getting their first touch of the ball and knocking on in such a good situation. Right on the 20 metres line there and making a big mistake. So at present, Wakefield have settled down more to the game. That try giving them the confidence they need. Sheffield just making elementary mistakes at this present time, David.
That's right, Ian. A little bit unfortunate there to knock on, but play the ball, you've got to try and keep hold of it. You've got to try and stick to the possession, because possession is 9/10 of the law, Ian.
So Wakefield then getting that ball from that scrum, and Darren Fritz making good yardage upfield. He's followed by John Glancy. John Glancy taking it in strong. So back Wakefield are coming further and further up the field. No. Picked out by Timmy Lum, who's on loan from Hunslet. Which Hunslet, this is their home ground. That's a nice kick from Nigel Wright. It goes over Gary Jack's head and makes him turn as the ball goes into dead, and touch judge points to the 20. Didn't actually touch that. He was thinking about it a couple of times with Gary Jack, but just a little bit too much pace on that ball. So that's Maguire then, taking the ball up. He looked to lose that ball before he played it, but Sheffield Eagles dropping the ball again, but luckily it goes back from Lawton. Here's Maguire again, and he's dropped the ball, so Sheffield Eagles not settled at all, David.
No, that's right. Knocking on quite often now, and they're losing possession. Obviously, it gives Wakefield now a lot of chance to have the ball in their hands, and they're obviously going to travel a lot sooner than Sheffield.
So here comes Trinity. Nigel Wright again. He sees a bit of an opening, nearly through, but Carr makes a nice tackle on him. Andy Mason goes in acting half back. Gary Price then comes wider out. Richard Slater. Andy Mason going in at acting half back again to Bagnall. Quickly is Tim Love up to him. Nigel Wright, little short back to pass to Gary Spencer. He tried to hold the ball up there for Gary to come on to. Here comes Bagnall again. That'll be a little chip through, a little bit too strong. That ball's gone in touching goal, so that's going to be another 20 tap for Sheffield, but this moment in time, Wakefield with all the pressure on Sheffield, David.
Yes, they're enjoying a lot of possession through Sheffield mistakes, and obviously that'll allow them to gain in confidence, where really have got to settle in, and they've not really settled down yet, have they?
No, but there's always periods in games where the other side seems to be on top, and then it changes and fluctuates and the other side come back, and this game just still in its early stages as Paul Carr trying to make good yardage for Sheffield. Here comes Lawton, met strongly by 3 Wakefield tacklers. Back to Gary Jack, under no pressure at all, can just place that kick where he wants to. Andy Wilson brings it in play, ball went back, signalled by Mr Smith. So Andy Wilson centre field in his own 20 with the ball. Bagnall, Nigel Bell ringing clear. Just nearly got round Aston there, and plenty of wide open spaces on this Ellen Road pitch. Bagnall looking for the gaps, bobbing and weaving, making good yardage. Taken by Cook and number 8 Broadbent, Nigel Wright. Trying a little dummy with and Maguire there pulled for Richard Slater. Took him off the ball there. Paul Carr getting rid of his headgear there, just throwing it to the touchline, so we can tell which now is Maguire and which is Carr in that second row. So it's Nigel Wright then from centre field inside his own half, going to kick for touch. And the main thing about that is that it's gone into touch. Only made a couple of yards, but he hasn't given the opposition the ball. Here comes Mark Webster back after injury. It looks like he's took a hard knock there.
Well, Ian, he was met quite solidly. I didn't see anything from our vantage point of any foul play whatsoever. I just think it was a good, hard, clean tackle, and Mark Webster looks to be flat out. I think the referee's got to stop the game here, and just to have a look at him. Lee Robinson a bit worried about him, and I think he's pushed him into the precautionary position on his side, and he'll probably be having a look at where his tongue is, perhaps. Maybe they'll call for the doctor.
And from the next play, Wakefield lost possession. It looks to be okay, just a little bit fuzzy. He's going into the second row. Fritz has just moved up while he still recovers from that arc tackle from Broadbent. Gary Jack coming to bring it blind. Bagnall holds him, here comes Plange. And the Wakefield tacklers quickly in. Gary Jack going on his own down that blind side. But Slater and Jones make the tackle on him. Here comes Tim Lum, gives it to Lawton. Tim Lum brings Maguire back to Tim Lum. Then he's Slips the ball in the tackle. Here's David Maiko, a Wakefield lad from Criggleston. So playing against his hometown club. Penalty that's going to be. Nigel Bell just interfering to play the ball, so it looks like a chance for the Eagles to get on the score sheet. Just more or less in line with the right hand post. And it looks like it's going to be Maiko who's going to make the kick, David.
Well, Ian, you know, as the ball goes underground to play, you know, for the player to play the ball, it's therefore in play and players can strike for it. And kicking through at the play the ball is, in my opinion, not a technical offence. I think really what the game should have carried on there with 6 more tackles to Sheffield Eagles and not the penalty that was given.
So Maiko then with a chance to put his side on the score sheet, and he's missed it. He's pulled it wide, and that's Cook to Aston. Lawton short on the ball, but taken well there by John Glancy. Timmy Lum then to Aston, switching side to Farrell. Farrell, he keeps the ball alive to Timmy Lum. Timmy Lum, nice side step, but lost the ball there. Looked like a knock on. Gary Jack backing him up there, but again Sheffield not putting the pressure on, not getting near the Trinity line, losing possession again, David.
That's right, but that's twice we've seen Tim Lum break the Wakefield Trinity defensive line. We've seen him when he's played for Hunslet, and when he's played against Wakefield. He scored 2 tries in a pre-season friendly. We all know how quick he is off the mark. I think Wakefield Trinity have got to rise to that when he gets the ball today.
Penalty there to Wakefield. Head high by Mr. Smith, he says, on Gary Price. I think it was Cook, the hooker there, that got pulled out for that one. So Nigel Wright then with a nice kick down touchline there. He goes a good 30 metres, brings play to within 10 metres of the Sheffield 10 metre line, 20 metre line. Comes centre field, John Glancy. Gary Jack, and we notice right up in the line, so Sheffield are wide open for that little chip kick through. He's trying to organise his defence there. Gary Jack just behind the line. He's only a yard behind the line as Mark Webster looks like he's recovered from that heavy tackle. Gets play inside the Sheffield 20. Bagnall, big Darren Fritz comes on the charge, and just an ankle tap just stopped him there. So Wakefield then, we're in with a chance. Nigel Wright drops a... So beautiful bit of play, good pressure from Wakefield, and a nice drop goal from Nigel Wright, David.
Yes, I always maintain, Ian, that once you get into an opposition's 20 area, you should always come away with at least a point, and especially when you're 6 points to nil up, that 1 point just puts you within that imaginary figure, 1 point within a try and a goal. So Wakefield certainly now establishing themselves very strongly in these early stages.
So it's 7-0 after 17 minutes. And that kick down to Bagnall gives it to David Jones. So Wakefield been in full control so far this afternoon. David Jones right on the centre of the 20 metre line. Gary Spencer helping his forwards out, just coming into the attack, tackled by Farrell. Here comes Glancy, looking for those gaps, making the valuable yardage, getting out of that danger zone. Mark Webster only held back from Broadbent, but the other helpers then come in. Bagnall's running it, lovely little ball to Fritz. Here comes Fritz on the charge, got Andy Mason with him. Fritz still going, gives it to Andy Mason, but Plange covers across, beautiful. So Wakefield here on the attack, can they bring it left from Bagnall? Bagnall must score. Yes, Slater drops the ball, but Sheffield man interfered, was offside, and that's going to